Mars in Virgo is in a mutable Earth sign. Similar to Mars in Gemini, the mutable nature of Mars in this placement allows for different perspectives in order to be considered before one takes action. And like Mars in Gemini, induces and incorporates the element of magic into one's action. But unlike Mars in Gemini, which is going to really think more about what they do, Mars in Virgo is going to analyze their steps before, during, and after. This is something I can relate to as a Mars in Aries, where before I can think about I already did it. Before I can think about what I'm doing, I already did it. This is in stark contrast to Mars in Virgo, who's going to carefully detail and analyze how specifically they're going to do something before they do it. And as such, this allows Mars and Virgo's placements to be very on point with their action. No detail is missed with a Mars and Virgo, even if they seem to just be freestyling and winging it. There is some level of analysis that not only goes in before they do something, but similar to Mars and Gemini, while they are doing it too. Analyzing on the fly while taking action gives this placement a magical element that, similar to Mars and Gemini, can adapt while taking action. And in analyzing what has done, can now change their perspective and perfect more what they're doing. And this is where the element of earth adds more groundedness of focus, unlike air, which is going to be more mental, more heady. Mars in Virgo comes from a much realer place. Given that it is the second social zodiac sign, these actions are going to be more relative to the social dynamics, the real social dynamics that are around them, making them very adaptable and able to really take action in ways that take into account how they're done relative to how other people are interacting with them real time. These natives are going to desire actions that really express their behavior and in ways that challenge your behavior and habits. Given that it is in the sign of habits, this makes this a very habitual Mars. And when dealing with these placements, you want to make sure you take into account their routines because they're not necessarily going to want to do things that go outside their usual habits. That is where the earth placement can add a little bit of stubbornness, but the mutability thankfully gives great adaptability. The pros to this placement are really the analyzation that goes into what they do. These people do pretty much everything on point, and given that it is the final sign before the last six, they're able to bring in elements of all the first five zodiac signs to add so much more ground and almost completion to what it is they do. Negatives of this is they may be so critical and perfectionist that they never really take action because they have paralysis of analysis. So this is where Mars and Aries may not have thought about what they are going to do, but while the Mars and Virgo is busy analyzing, Mars and Aries has already gotten that first place where, they just took action before they figured it out. So, of course, in mediating that, that's a good way to really balance the pros and the cons. Of course, in bed, this is going to be a very sensual lover and somebody who's going to take their time in really working your body. Actions like this are of service, and they know how to, of course, once again, account for every step along the way. If you would like more insight on your Mars placement, you could schedule a reading at thepeacedealer.com, and we'll look into your Mars with you. Peace.